We have
Jam,
Burn
jam.
joining us from the forest. The whole family's here.
Jam.
Yes.
So I think I'm gonna start. I don't have really any notes or anything because me, just like everybody else, we know what we're doing, right? We're waiting for the audits. We're taking whatever the auditors have for us, and we make edits and we send back. This is the process to make a safe, really really good optimized product. There really is no second chance in crypto. So if you f it up, you really and it would be really nice to launch this without any fuck ups, especially considering how the market is looking, because I really think that we have an opportunity here to launch in the most perfect sweet spot. Obviously, I don't know if maybe we have like another year of down only prices, who knows? But it really feels like we're kind of scratching the balls of the bull market to start very soon. So in a way, it's been really positive that we're doing this gruesome wait and all this auditing back and forth while everything is kind of dying in the markets, because that gives us a really really good entry. I like to see it that way anyway. So yeah, there's that. The things I can update you from the auditing, I guess, is that one of the auditors is because we're doing double audits, right? One of the auditors is going to be finished really, really soon. But basically, just to take it back, the thing that's taking time is that when you audit the code, you get these kind of like you get the feedback from the auditor, right? Like, okay, you should do this like this and this. If you change this parameter here, you will save on gas. And then basically we have to do all that work, right? So we have to do the code again, and then the auditors sort of have to do like a full-scale audit of that again. So it's kind of like you're going through the same things all over, but each time you do it, it gets like optimized until it's like basically perfect. And so that's what's taking time. It's not that the auditors are lazy, that they're doing it slowly, or that our devs can't code. It's that our dev team and the auditors are going back and forth all the time, optimizing and correcting and doing some really creative stuff actually to optimize 9-inch. So that's what's taking time. I don't know when it's done. I really want it to be soon. I think it's gonna be soon, and that's basically what I have to say about that. Unless you guys have any specific questions on the audits, I'm not sure I can give you too detailed answers, except we just have to wait. But I'll take any questions on that topic and we can move on. Oh, and I can add about the auditors. One of the auditors, basically the bigger of them, the most well known is CoinFabric, right? So these are the same auditors that Richard Hart used for Hex in 2018 before he launched a year later. And I know that they had a lot of sort of not fighting, but I think Hex was kind of delayed because of the same reason as our thing is delayed, because they're really really meticulous. They're really really thorough, these auditors, and so it sucks if you're waiting, but in the end you get a good product, right? So Richard likes to say, Hex is perfect, no bugs, no hacks, it's been running smoothly. Well, that's, I would say, partly thanks to the really really meticulous auditing that went through, and the product got delayed by 2 years almost, if I remember correctly. So I'm not saying ours will be, because it's not, because we're not doing like a new code, we're just forking code and making edits. So it's way 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 easier to audit and launch. But just as an example, that these guys, they really know what they're doing, the auditors. So I'm happy about it. Sucks to wait, but it is how it has to be.
I have a question real quick.
Yeah, shoot.
Okay, let's make sure you can hear me. I know
Yeah.
previously on, I think it was either the last call or the one before that, they were saying that they were going to have like either an Excel sheet or something along those lines with the updated numbers. I think that included the referral bonuses and stuff like that. Is that something that's still in the works, or is it kind of just wait till you get your coins and see? Thank you.
Yeah, I know that. I know a lot of people have asked this, and my own team is like DMing, like, "Hey, come on, we need to push this out." I'm still waiting for it myself. I hope I get a response today, whether we have something. But I'm as well waiting for this. It should be very soon, though.
Okay, just making sure. Thank you very much.
Cool. And okay, so if we leave the boring auditing aside, another thing, as you remember, is you have a $10,000 competition going for the BBC, our version of the incentive token, the BBC logo contest going, and we have loads of, I would say like 80% of what we've got is like clearly stuff from people who use Fiverr or something like that. Like it's really, really bad shit, to be honest. But the rest is very interesting and some are really, really good. But there's not really been like a home run yet. And people have been asking like, can I still send in something? Is like the deadline is passed? Do you still accept this and that? So we had a little chat in the team today. And some people want us to sort of say that, okay, this is going to be the theme. So people kind of know what they're going to do. Because right now it's like an open sea. You don't really know where to go with it, what kind of logo. But I would say for now, just so everybody knows, we will keep the competition open. And basically anything goes. So we do have some suggestions. We want the logo to be maybe like kind of like how the 9Inch logo is. It's not like overly explicit, or it's not boring. It's not super cartoony. It's like it's very subtle, a subtle joke that you really have to like. You have to kind of like think about it to find it. It's funny because it's like this. I don't know what the word is in English. It's subtle. That's kind of like what I'm hoping the logo is gonna be, like something that's funny but not like explicitly in your face about it. So we're still looking for somebody to make a really funny, really cool logo for the BBC. And honestly, I would say any theme is okay by me, as long as like, okay, we see it and then like, fuck yeah, that's the logo. We have to have that. So if you want to have a chance to win the $10,000 in USDC, this is not $10,000 in any shitcoin or a token or airdrop. This is $10,000 in USDC. So, and it will not go to anybody in our team. It will go to some, like, honestly, to an honest person. So I think this is like one of the largest prizes ever in crypto for like a task in this format, like just to make a logo to get 10,000. So I hope that alone is gonna be something to talk about. Maybe get some traction for 9Inch. So yeah, so competition is still open, and I think we're gonna keep it open until the audits are done, or until we really get like a 10 out of 10, and we just like, okay, you win, competition is over. So yeah, I'm gonna leave it at that. So hopefully we get still some submissions. You can send it, basically you can send it anywhere. The official way to send it is gm@9inch.io. Or you could just DM it to us, but we don't see every DM, as you can imagine. Or you can put your art in the Telegram group as well to get critique or to see if other people like it. Usually that's a good way to sort of like see if you're doing well, if other people like kind of like use emoticons on it, or like retweet it or something like that. So yeah, just be sure that you send it first to gm@9inch.io so that we know that you created it first. I'm a bit out of breath here because I'm walking uphill, so bear with me.
In regards to the criteria needed to have meme tokens launch on 9Inch, is it going to be extremely strict, or how do you go about that? Because I know there's some animosity between some different founders of different meme coins, and I'm just wondering if personal feelings are going to detract from being able to list one of those memes on your site just because of a personal feeling, not because of the token.
Well, there was this coin called Pulsechain, which basically tried to siphon all our users, rip our brand. They were extremely poisonous, toxic about it as well. For the longest time, I mean, because I'm a founder of Pulsechain, right? And so this was an obvious like kind of attack on us. That's one of the first coins that we put on testnet with the logo and everything. Like you don't even have to put the contract address. It's right there. In 9Inch, like we put that all that shit aside. I want 9Inch to be honestly for everybody. Everybody can put their coin in there. And when you say launch on 9Inch, I mean, there's no restriction on who can launch on 9Inch. It's going to be exactly like PulseX or Uniswap. Or do you mean specifically if you get like a promoted, like a pool or something like that, like a farming pool? Is that what you mean?
Well, I did mean in general, but yeah, that answered it for sure. But yeah, let's change that to whether it's a farm or a pool.
Sure. Then it's different, because then you kind of have this stamp of sort of like kind of like how on PulseX you don't have any outside coins there, right? You just have Richard Hart coins and pairings with like stable coins. Maybe in the future, like he put what did he put? He put Rep BTC ones. He put like some meme coins. What was it, Pepe, right? And he did that stuff because he thought it would be advantageous for PulseX and Pulsechain as a whole, right? To kind of like build bridges between communities. And so you can expect 9Inch to do the same. For instance, if you know about the coin Don't Buy Inu, with the dev, he kind of went very viral earlier this year by making like funny videos. He even made videos together with CZ from Binance and BitsBoy and who else? I don't remember. So some other crypto profiles. And that community, basically, they don't want anything to do with Pulsechain. They hate Richard Hart, but they're gonna do a collaboration with us. And their community, if you hold their coin, the DBI, you will be able to participate in a staking pool where you can earn DBC. So that's a good example of the thing that we want to do with 9Inch. We want to build bridges to these viral communities and especially those who maybe are not already in our community. So it's kind of like you get fresh people in. So it's going to be really interesting. And as for criteria, basically don't be a scam. Have a community, have a good coin, it's fairly basic, you know, like don't be a scam, have a community, and don't have a scammy coin. Basically, you can submit through the casting couch on our page, which is like a formula that you put in all the details of your coin. I think the URL is 9inch.io/casting couch, or you can see it on the menu on 9inch.io. And you just submit, and we go through everything, and we see if it's a good match, and if it is, then we contact that community.
Okay. In regards to the collaboration with BitBoy and the DBI, that's just on Ethereum then, if they don't want anything to do with Pulsechain?
I think so. We haven't ironed out like the exact technical details, like how much BBC are they gonna get allotted, or for how long, or anything. We just basically shook hands and said, like, yeah, we're gonna do this. But I would imagine, because there is a funny crossover between some Hexicans and the DBI people. So there's quite a few Hexicans who are in the DBI camp as well, because the co-founder of 9Inch, Hexy Bastard, he was an early whale in DBI, so he got a lot of Hexicans kind of just by association, got into the DBI community. So there is this crossover between Pulsechain and DBI, even though the DBI team themselves don't like it. So I think it's going to be on both versions, to be honest.
Okay, perfect. Thanks.
Well, I have some few suggestions with the audits that have been happening. I'll just suggest that this DEX should not just based on memes. For example, from the perspective you gave regarding listing of new coins and everything, I would suggest to just give it a room for, other non-meme coins, like to just list themselves within the DEX and get some earnings from the farms. Because with the audits and everything, this thing becomes highly secure, and it could pave ways, like to maybe compete with Uniswap and the rest. Works better. That's my suggestion, though.
That's absolutely true. And the meme factor is not exclusive. We're not exclusively doing the meme coin thing. The fact that we have like this kind of funny vibe around it, it's basically for virality. We're kind of the first DEX that is like utility. We are pure utility, right? You can't get more utility than a DEX. That is just utility, right? But the brand in of itself is a meme coin. So it's not that we're only allowing meme coins or anything. It's just that we want the virality of a meme coin for our token to be able to like reach as far as possible. So what you say about we should allow serious coins and all of this because we have audits, I 100% agree. Especially when you see shit like this going on with Hex and Uniswap delisting Hex, Matcha delisting Hex, some other DEX did it as well. So obviously when you see kind of shit going on like this, that's a huge opportunity for 9Inch to become kind of like a main, like you say, a secure place to maybe even build the largest Hex pool for ETH that's out there. It wouldn't surprise me because we really want all the Hexicans to trade with us. So it's going to be incentive for sure for Hexicans. And so I wouldn't say Hex is a meme coin. So yeah, you're right. And What else? I mean, most in crypto, there is so much stuff that looks like a meme and uses funny pictures and cute logos and stuff, but is actually like kind of like a serious financial product. So the whole of DeFi started with fruit tokens and food tokens, right? Like you have sushi, you have yam, you have what was it, pickle swap, something like that. You have like Trader Joe's. You have like all of these like funny looking stuff. But if you look at the people who participate in them, like they have maybe tens, hundreds of millions in their wallets. So it's not exclusively for fun and giggles, for sure. But I agree with you. And be sure that we're not limiting ourselves just to meme coins. The meme thing is just for our own virality's sake.
You appreciate, man, for the clarifications. And what is our view on what is the roadmap regarding the chains that we're in? Like I know currently we're focusing on Pulsechain and Ethereum, but what is the future?
I don't know, open to it, but we're focusing on Pulsechain and ETH. We really want. I mean, because crypto right now is so wobbly, you know, we don't want to overextend ourselves and build this huge roadmap in front of us, even though we have like a lot of ideas, obviously, but we want to do what we set out to do first, to do that better than everybody else, and then we move on. So in my mind, we need a good meme coin dex on ETH. So I want us to be the premier meme coin dex on ETH. We want the 9Inch token to be viral on ETH. We want also Hex to have a secure home on ETH because of this Uniswap bullshit and all of this. So these are like short-term goals that I think are really important for us to focus on. And when we achieve those, we can start looking at other chains.
Yeah, man, that's solid. Appreciate.
And I can tell you our criteria for choosing a new chain. We are never gonna just like look at a chain and see, here's an interesting market we should approach and see what happens. We're gonna wait until we get requests, until we get pulled in by a community from someplace, because then we know that we have a spot there. We're not gonna like overextend ourselves like Zen, you know, like polluting every other chain with a new copy of our token. So if we do the new chain stuff, it's gonna be because we get attracted in, not because we push in.
Right.
And I'm just curious, for those of you who trade Hex on Ethereum, where do you trade it?
On 1Inch.
Yeah, but where does it source the Hex from?
I use Portal X, but I think it pulls it from Uniswap anyway.
Okay. Oh yeah, true. No, of course, yeah. It's only the front end that's blocking it, so it should work. Yeah.
Actually, I did it on Internet Money as well, and it also pulls it from Uni, but it's still at least not using Uni.
Oh yeah, it's true. I mean, you can manually like do the geeky kind of like back way in and just like communicate with the contract itself. It's the front end that's blocking it. That's true. Still sucks, man. So dumb. Like yeah, opportunity. It's never gonna be blocked on 9Inch for sure. What was it? There was something else I just wanted to briefly. Oh yeah, while all the sort of backend devs are working with the auditors and optimizing the code and stuff, what we've been doing mainly is we're doing kind of like cosmetic changes and user experience updates on the actual interface, you know, with all the buttons and all of this. So I just wanted to let you all know that we really listen to everybody's feedback. There's countless of updates that we've done that's so small that it's kind of like, it's not really something we put out in a tweet or even in the Telegram because they're so small. They can be kind of like, okay, these numbers should be green instead of white or whatever, because it makes a difference in how you perceive the numbers or whatever. Like these kind of small things, we've done like hundreds of these small updates to the UI just to sort of like make the experience a bit better. And I get so many comments from people who say like, hey, I told you about this little thing 3 weeks ago, and now I see it updated. So just so you guys know, if you have any suggestions for UI, we really listen to this feedback, and all these small changes from you guys make a huge difference in the end because they sort of like compound. There's somebody who has a mic open, and I'm hearing myself. Okay, good, thanks. So that's really, really cool. And I think that really is what's setting 9Inch apart. It's the small things that we keep updating, and all of that stuff comes from the community. So it really feels like a community DEX. I really, really love that about this project.
Sorry if I might be repeating this, but What is your view on the point of governance? I mean, like I'm pretty sure 9Inch is being held by the team behind, and I'm pretty sure to keep in control with the tokens and supply and everything. The team should hold an amount, just for governance and stuff. Richard used to talk about these things in the past. So what is your view on this? I know you guys didn't sacrifice and I didn't see that transaction happening. So how are you, going to acquire an amount of tokens just to keep in for the future and whatever, maybe marketing and everything?
Well, we're not going to use. We're probably never going to use team tokens for marketing because we all know that's kind of like bullshit. Teams who say that, it just means that they want a bigger allocation for themselves. There's no such thing as really marketing for team tokens because the people who do the marketing for you, they don't want, they want dollars. So either you pay them in dollars or you give them your token and they sell it on you guys, on everybody. So I don't think you'll see that from us. But you're right that there is going to be a small team allocation. It's going to be much smaller than all the sacrifices that you've seen so far. It's mainly not to do with anything other than the DAO system. So we want to have some say in which projects are gonna be sort of pre-vetted or kind of boosted in the rankings. So obviously we really want the DEX to be a democratic sort of, okay, the community really wants this coin to have a pool, then it should have a pool. But at the end of the day, the only thing we care about is not your favorite coin. We care about the 9Inch coin. And so I think that the reason that we should have a good allocation ourselves is that we should always be able to weigh the decision in such a way that whatever happens on the yield farming bit, on the BBC rewards and stuff, it should be at the end of the day good for the DEX as a whole and not just for a specific community who happens to have a lot of voting power. And it's also good if there is somehow a not a hack, but kind of like a malicious project that somehow gets a lot of voting power or something. Then it's also good to have a team who is on your side who will prevent that from happening. So yeah, I hope that answers your question. I'm really happy I have a connection here. I'm literally in the middle of a forest. Pretty cool technology.
Is there any Elon Musk satellite above you? You can look up.
I was just about to look. Actually, it's crystal clear audio. Something weird is going on.
Somebody is asking in the chat if there are any updates on WETH.
No, and there will never be any update on WETH. It's a coin that we gave as a gift to the sacrifice set, and there's nothing you can do with it. It's a meme coin with set supply. We can't add anything to it. We can't subtract anything from it.
They probably were more referring to the farming or pools in regards to it being your guys' first team original meme token for 9Inch.
Oh, the farming, sure. So this is a good example of the team allocation, right? So with this allocation, we'll have an outsized vote. It's not going to be a majority vote, but it's gonna have a presence. And we will always, as I said, make sure that whatever we vote on is going to be in the favor of the 9Inch DEX, the 9Inch community, the 9Inch sacrifice set. And so I can't say anything about which coins are going to have which farms or which are going to be good. But what I can promise is that anything that we release or anything that has like our backing or whatever, it's always going to be taken care of. Which is really cool if you're in the 9Inch sacrifice set, because you never know what sort of bonuses or fun stuff that we have in store for you. It's the way I look at it is you never know which meme starts a life of its own and really smashes it. You really don't know. The only problem is that you don't have infinite ammo. You don't have infinite time to research everything and to put your hard-earned money into everything. So what's really nice is that you can get stuff for free. And what's really cool also is that, maybe the chances are better if you get these free coin made by people who actually really are good at memes. So I hope the future is good for the sacrifice set. You never know, but it sucks putting your money into each and every idea on Uniswap that you see. So let's hope for the best.
I love free coin.
Me too.
Do you do all your cartoon memes for PLD?
What do you mean?
Like, do you create all those all the time?
Well, yeah, it's we have a pretty smart way of doing our memes. So what we did is we made a bunch of different outfits for the dog, different scenarios, different facial expressions, a loads and loads of like accessories and stuff like that, and then we can sort of like use them as Lego bricks and create a scenario. So if something is going on with like a let's say this SEC lawsuit, then we have a bunch of suits for the dog. We can just drag it into Photoshop. We can put like a serious smile on the dog, put some glasses on, hex earring, put it in an office environment, and then we can make a meme. So yeah, we are fucking pro memesters, man.
No, I know. Every time I saw a new one come out, I was like, wow, man, they come up with this shit so fast, and I always love it. I've been in PLD for a long time, both Ethereum, well, actually Binance to start, and then Ethereum, and then Pulsechain. So I got them all, but I love looking at that stuff. Good job.
That's OG, man. I appreciate it. Maybe you missed it, but we had our 2-year anniversary day before yesterday, and Turn Crypto and P Burn, who is in this chat right now, they're in Turn Crypto's cabin in the Finnish forest, and they put out like a live stream where people could join in and talk and stuff. So it really has like a really cool family vibe around it, PLD, and it's so small still because, as you say, we've been jumping chains, and we started in at the peak of the Hex bubble, and so you can imagine that a lot of people like kind of faded the project, and then it went up again, then it went down again. So you like shake out so many people, and the fact that there have been so many people since like 2 years who's still like lurking in the chat and who join the Telegram now and again and post memes and stuff, that really is like, man, it's so hard to quit crypto when the times are rough, when you have that kind of activity going. Like it just puts a big ass smile on your face.
Good morning handshakes for 2 years.
2 long years, man. It's like love us or hate us, but you can't deny we're part of Hex history since day one. I saw somebody say, I forget who, but there was somebody said that PLD is the turd that Richard's bidet can never flush. I love that.
That's kind of funny. I did jump in a little bit late. Did you guys give any updates on launching, or kind of just still waiting on audits, or can I get like a brief rundown of the first 30 minutes I missed?
Yeah, sure. I can repeat. Maybe we have some new people here. Basically, we don't have any new time frame or anything like that. I keep saying it's gonna be very soon. I explained a little bit. Explained just how the process works. It's not that the auditors are lazy or they went on vacation or anything like that. It's the way it works is when they come back with the code with suggestions here and there, then our devs basically have to rewrite everything, try it, and then send it over for a new review, right? Because they have to go through it again. And you do this back and forth all the time. So our dev team and the auditors are in constant Zoom calls, often with like 6 or 7 people in it at the same time. And the communication is really good. And I really understand also why Richard's Hex was delayed the way it was, because he used the very same auditors. His project got delayed, I think, by between 1 and 2 years. I think a year and a half, to be honest.
Whoa, 1 or 2 years.
Yeah, but
okay.
listen. I'm not saying ours is going to be like that, because he had 100% original code, right? So that's 1,000 times more like difficult to audit. Whereas we just have forked code with our own sort of parameters tweaked. So this is why also we don't have any security issues with our audits. We don't have any bugs that can sort of compromise the code. Sorry, motorcycle here. The things that basically 99% of the work is going to is optimizing stuff for gas efficiency, especially on Ethereum. And it's stuff like that, really. And things that could become bugs in the future as well. So there's some stuff that, okay, this part of the code works right now perfectly. But what if in 2 years somebody creates a token that does this and this and this, and he tries to put that on a DEX, and it's going to give this error when you try and trade it? It's stuff like that, you know? So it's not really security issues. It's usability, yeah.
Damn, I know I had just kind of came out of nowhere in this. What do you guys? I'm new to all this shit. But I've been relying on basically crypto for the past 2 months and been putting all my fucking money into it. What do you guys think with the whole Richard Hart SEC shit? What is that like? Do you think that's going to have any type of become a big issue with 9Inch, for instance?
No, I mean, I would say it has zero impact on us. And if you could, somebody has a microphone open because I can hear my echo. Okay, let's try now. Okay, thanks. Yeah, zero impact on us. The only impact this really has, it only has one impact. It made Pulsechain go down 50% or whatever it was. So, okay, price was affected, but what else was impacted? Nothing that I'm aware of. Maybe Richard will be a bit sort of hands off when it comes to updating PulseX. So if anything, it's really, really good for 9Inch because we're going to be hands-on this. We're not going to be like a passive sort of DEX owner. We're going to be implementing updates all the time, which if you're using the testnet right now, you will see those updates being rolled out on a weekly basis. So we're updating it all the time with some UI tweaks and stuff like that we get from the community. So if anything, this SEC thing gives us more room to play.
All right, well, I'm definitely glad to hear that. I've used the testnet a couple of times, but one other question. My bad about being so random and just jumping into it. I'm not sure what you guys were talking about. I just had realized that there's even a voice setting on Telegram. But on the side of that, do you guys have any type of prediction really of what do you think like 9Inch is going to do, like when it does launch? What do you think the price, like, is there any type of idea what the price might launch at, or is that still in the air?
That's very much in the air, sir.
Yeah, I probably sound, dude, I probably sound like a fucking noob, but in all honesty, I am a fucking noob, dude. I just got into this crypto shit. I've been basically putting all of my time into it, and money. I've stolen fucking diapers for my daughter for the past, I want to say like month, when it came down to like, I've been putting all my money, like 9Inch, I can't say I have, but a good portion of the money I put into Pulse, I almost put all my fucking Pulse into this, but either or, I'm still I'm still keeping hopes with it, you know what I mean? I don't know, dude, I grew up poor as hell, and I'm trying to get fucking rich somehow, and I don't know any dude, I didn't graduate high school. I'm a single father, dude. Say, what'd you say, guys?
I'm in love with PX, but 9Inch is my definitely hold on to forever.
Dude, I'm glad to hear that. I don't know. I've been trying to look into this shit every day. Basically, the main updates I've been getting are from this Telegram chat. But dude, I'm hoping this shit does extremely well, because if so, dude, I need just one good come up from any of these cryptos, and dude, I'll take it. Basically, I'll take it from there, and I know I'll be able to make myself a fucking millionaire off it. But basically, this is like my main hope on it. And Kana and Khan, dude, what you seem like you're like I said, just looking at your name, 9inch.io. How involved are you with 9Inch? Like, what's the word I'm looking for? Like, are you I don't want to say one of the creators, or like how involved are you with the the people who created this shit? If you are at all, I'm not sure. I'm just asking out of curiosity too.
I'm one of the co-founders of it. So we're basically, how many are we? I think we're 5 founders, and I'm one of them. So it's that's the 9Inch part. As for investment strategy, there's not really anything I can advise you, except that like putting all your money into something obviously comes like with a huge risk. What is good though is your timing, I would say, because even if you do something half shit, half right, if you do that at like a market bottom, then you increase your chances by manyfold. Whereas most people who do what you do, kind of like sometimes out of desperation, they usually do it when the hype is at the very top, right? When everybody's talking about it, when the cab drivers are talking about it, when your parents, when your neighbors start asking like, are you buying some coins right now? Most people do the risky shit up there, and we're kind of like on the opposite now. It really feels like, it can be shitty for a bit longer, but I mean, how much more can it go down? So I think you have an asymmetrical kind of upside compared to downside, I think. So at least your timing is good. As for which coin is gonna be your come up, I have no idea. All I can say is with a DEX such as a 9Inch, they do extremely well in bull markets. And the main reason for that is when you have a bull market, you have hype building up. And hype is volume. Volume is hype. It's kind of like the same thing. So when volume is good, the DEX will do very well because volume is everything for a DEX. It's basically the trading activity, right? And you will be holding a coin, the 9Inch coin, which directly benefits, not indirectly, it directly benefits from volume, because the more volume there is, the more of this coin gets bought up on the market. And no, we're gonna go play golf. Somebody's microphone is open again.
Well, we'll go to the house afterward. Yeah, we'll go play
Those
golf for
fucking
30 minutes and we'll go
microphones.
home.
Oh
I'm
man,
trying
I want to go.
but
I want to
cannot.
play golf.
He said, "I want to play golf." Well, you being one of the co-founders, that speaks for itself how involved you really are in it. It's funny you're saying, when your neighbors are, dude. I don't know anybody in my general area who's even involved in crypto, but I know my
That's
father.
good.
He had put in like $1,000 in Hex, and I know he made at least a couple hundred grand off it. That's mainly what had gotten me into it. But dude, as of right now, it's almost. I mean, I'm able to get by with everything I need and stuff. So I mean, it's not like I had huge lump sum of money that I'm putting into this, but you definitely are make a good point on the with it being low. I have a lot better chance. But one other thing, have you heard or have you done any type of research or heard of anything with the time dividend on the internet money? Because I've put basically all my Pulse into that, and it's been doing 20 times better than Pulse really was. But I'm not sure if anybody in here has looked into it or even downloaded the wallet. But I had put in 150 worth of Pulse, and the other day it was up to $202 that I had. So it had went up $52 that quickly. But I'm just looking for basically any type of insight from anybody else, if you guys have any type of information or what your guys' opinions on that is. Because I don't know, like I said, I'm just trying, dude. I want to get rich somehow. I know obviously it isn't an overnight thing, but this is definitely somewhere I could lean on, to get good information from.
I don't know that much about it. All I know is the founder is KG. I consider him like my internet friend. He's a good guy. He's been, I think, he's been in like the community as at least as long as I have. I know him since way back, maybe 2.5 years ago, something like that. So he's legit. The coin is like really ambitious. I know that he's gonna integrate the wallet with 9Inch. So when we have launched, you'll be able to route with the wallet, route through 9Inch using the internet money wallet, which is really cool. So he's really doing a lot of work in trying to steer people away from outside software like MetaMask and stuff, and into his own wallet. So that's cool. As for price, I have no idea, man. I'm gonna leave this voice chat open when we gone through all the 9Inch related stuff, and then you guys can talk all you want about degening into coins and what's gonna pump, what's gonna dump. But just for now, if there is more 9Inch stuff, 9Inch questions, I want to take those first so we can move on later.
All right, no problem, man. I apologize for that. Like I said, I jumped in on this relative. Like I don't even know how long you've been talking, but I'm definitely going to keep this open and continue to listen to whatever you guys have to say, because this is where I've been going to get any type of information. But go ahead, I guess continue.
Cool. So yeah, and I see some team members here in the chat. If I forgot to bring up some points that we were gonna discuss, please let me know. Or if you guys have anything, we have CryptoVag, we have Laws, Marco, Turn Crypto. All these people are in the team, so you can ask them as well, not just me. So there's always people around to ask. And by the way you see the real admins in the group is that we have a little 9 symbol next to our name in the Telegram chat.
I would like to add an insight to Kumbliski's question. Personally, I'm also quite involved in crypto, and I watch it daily and stuff. And I'm like doing this for 2 years. And I would like to tell you my personal experience. What I found out is, first of all, don't invest more that you can afford to lose. So take care of what you're investing in. And second of all, I made more money by having, let's say, a role in the society and being a part of society and helping the society with a good work or just with a normal work. And then I was able to invest more money. So what I would focus on, especially in these days, is like actually the last year I was so blessed I had work because I could invest a lot of money per month, and the market was doing nothing. And why I'm telling you this, because you said that I'm watching the market every day and blah blah. There was some months that the market was going sideways for days. So I believe that the best thing you can do is be productive in this world, Be productive for your family, be productive for the society, make some money with a normal day job, invest into crypto, take some trades, and then in the bull market while holding, this is gonna pay out. And don't over invest. Be careful with that. That's my insight.
Yeah, that's very true, especially about get really involved in the community, because when you spend time in a community, you start to develop relationships with people. You know who they are, and you know who the good guys are, who the bad guys are. You know which people are full of shit, and you know which people you should really listen to. So what I really love about being in Hex since day one in 2019 is that I know exactly who I listen to, and I know who to ignore. And that's really a blessing, because when I hear something really, really intelligent and something really thoughtful said by somebody, I think to myself, like, man, like what I just heard, only maybe 2,000 people in the world can hear, and nobody even knows who this person is. So I feel really like, this is some really like alpha, like this is outside, this is some info that I should really move on, because there's not many people who have that insight. You can never get that if you're not involved in a community. If you read what the news put out, or if you read like random shit in a Telegram channel, because that's just surface stuff. There's no depth to it. Whereas if you really get involved in a community, that's really where you will find the opportunities. That's where you will find some really gems, like really, really good coins. You can get into them very early, and some of them are gonna take off. And then maybe a year later, the rest of Ethereum peeps are gonna ape in and buy your bags, and there you go. There's your 100x. That's usually how it works. So I can tell you, I had a really good run with Hex, for instance. I think Hex is my biggest gainer so far in terms of like multiples, because I knew Richard Hart maybe 2 years before he launched Hex. So I've always listened to Richard. So when he started talking about Hex, and he had like 4,000 viewers, 4,000 views on each YouTube video when he talked about Hex in the beginning, I felt like how come there's not more people listening to this guy? Like, and in the beginning, I think there was like 5,000 holders of Hex in the first weeks. Like, shit. Like, how can I not go into this coin with at least a little bit of money? So if you think about it like that, I would never have had the confidence to go into X with a decent chunk of money if I hadn't listened to Richard and followed him for 2 years prior. So the people who then made me a lot of money are the people who aped into Hex at 10 cents, 20 cents, 30 cents, 40 cents, 50 cents.
That's
And
me.
you don't want to... Yes, exactly. That's wrecked on Hex. But you get my point. Like that's how you make money in crypto. You don't ape into like random shit and hope something sticks, even though even that can work sometimes. And you don't ape in when everybody is already aped in at the top. You should get into a community, follow the people who really speak to your soul, kind of thing. Like you get like an instant vibe, like, okay, I want what he has, or like this guy seems to know what he's talking about. And that's like the easy story of how I had like a huge success with Hex, because I felt Richard had something that nobody else had. He had like a weird kind of charisma, this kind of strange, almost like dictator kind of hate-love relationships with everybody. And like I could see like, man, this is gonna be so polarizing. Like, it's kind of like a Trumpian figure. And so what happened with Richard and Hex is very similar to what happened with like Trump. Everybody was like trying to ignore him and stuff, but like if you knew Trump before, like really well, if you read his books and stuff, then you knew that like, yeah, this guy's gonna go far. And I saw Richard in the same way, so that's how you should do it. So what Vag says is 100% my advice to you as well. Don't go in with all your money into something that you don't really know in depth. Rather, get into the community and start following the people in the community, because that's how you make true wealth, I think.
And also to add something, this is you gave me a really nice pass. Take your charisma, take your talent, take your energy, and if you are into a community more and more in touch, as K9 said, then you might be able, maybe with volunteering or with anything, might be able to be a part of that community. And maybe because in crypto there are a lot of money, okay? In crypto, people make a lot lot of money because there is a lot of liquidity coming, and it's really easy. People are gonna give money with their phone. I remember Ivan on Tech was saying, whatever is your profession, bring it into crypto. Are you a lawyer? Bring it into crypto. Are you a graphic designer? Bring it into crypto. Are you a voice actor? Bring it into crypto. Because maybe this community meme token or whatever you are in, they might need two graphic designers because they make too many memes, let's say. Then you can make some memes for them. They can call you, hey, look, you look talented, come with us, and you never know. So except from trading and taking some risks and gambling, you can also use your talents, your charisma to bring it into crypto and find your way through it. And who knows what can happen.
All right, guys. So, in all seriousness, do we know why the audits are taking some time? Do we have like a, like a detailed announcement on that, or that's a no-no?
Yeah, we went through it a couple of times now, but there's no time frame or anything. It's gonna take the time it takes. Basically, everything is going kind of as we anticipated. There's the work that's being done in the audits is mainly efficiency. Saving on gas is taking up a lot of the auditing time. How to make 9Inch work really good on Ethereum, because there's a huge problem with usability if the fees are unnecessarily high. And we're trying to future-proof the code as much as possible so that we don't get any issues as like new types of coins get added onto the DEX and stuff. Hopefully, it's going to be really, really soon. The positive thing about it taking time is that if you look at the markets, what's going on, we are pretty lucky with the market conditions and our timing. It really feels like we're kind of edging out the bottom, if it's not now or a week later or a month later, but we're definitely close, I would say. I can't imagine a better time to launch than at these kind of conditions. So, hey ho.
Right, but is it safe to say that we aren't gonna? Well, you guys aren't gonna launch in the next 2 weeks to 3 weeks from the 4 weeks we were given the beginning of August.
Well, it's already been 3 weeks since the beginning of August, right? So I don't know. I really don't know. All I know is that our dev team is working all the time with the auditors. I see them on Zoom calls all the time. They're in communication all the time. There's nobody who's being lazy. Nobody's wasting any time. So yeah, that's. I really don't have any estimations, but it's not going to be months or anything like that. It's not going to drag out into infinity. Like it's going to happen soon.
Thank you for the update, Matthew.
Hey, mate, I appreciate the transparency you're giving us today.
Cool.
I got a question. Are we going to have a cross-chain capabilities like to bring? Are you going to have cross-chain or a bridge on the DEX?
Yes, we are going to integrate Stargate code into the DEX, and that's basic. Have you used Stargate before? Are you familiar with that?
No, I've been using some random stuff lately, but yeah, I've heard of Stargate.
Yeah, so it's going to be that, but it's going to be branded, so it's integrated to the site, so it really feels like it's part of 9Inch. You're not going to get redirected to another site or anything. So yes, you will have that capability on the actual DEX, and switching between the Ethereum 9Inch and the Pulsechain 9Inch is super easy. You just like on Uniswap, when you go into the little tab on the top right, you just get a drop down with the different chains, and you click, and there you go.
No, that's going to be awesome. I'm so excited. I can't wait for this to launch. I appreciate the input there. Yeah, that's awesome. You're able to white label that bridge cross chain situation. That's awesome.
Yeah, me too, man. I really want to launch. Really want to do it. And what we set out from the beginning is that we want to have the best user experience of any DEX. That was our first kind of like goal before we even started designing it and stuff. So I really like that we really stuck with that. What do you say? What's the word? Principle. With that principle, like that's what we focus on most. Like we don't want to leave anything so it's like clunky or. And I mean, this is one of the big reasons why the audits are taking time too, because we really want the code to be as user friendly as possible. Because there is some stuff in code, like sometimes when you get a prompt to pay $20 in gas for something, it doesn't mean that it should actually cost $20 in gas. Sometimes it's just bad code. Maybe it should cost $4, and that's a huge fucking difference. And so what's funny is that we optimized the Ethereum code so much so that, I mean, we're forking PancakeSwap, right? And PancakeSwap is running on ETH as well. But we've taken their ETH code and we're optimized it so much so that our version of PancakeSwap is actually better than PancakeSwap's own code on Ethereum. So just to give you a scope of how we're improving stuff. And that all translates into better user experience for everybody. Because like if you can reduce the gas cost by 20%, it's not just that you save money, but you also bring more users, because then maybe 20% more users can use the DEX. That means more volume, more adoption, more buy and burn, more ka-ching for everybody.
More
Bob,
inches.
gonna be awesome. I cannot wait. Thank you so much for everything. And I know that a lot of people in the chat are saying things like win-win and this is bullshit and all that. But I just want to say, when we had the ETH come out, I mean, everybody exploded to buy it. Everybody was talking about it, and it was everywhere and on everything. With all the Telegram channels, everybody was in there. And I expect the same thing to happen when 9Inch launches, and all of us who are able to sacrifice are going to be greatly rewarded. So I just want to thank you so much for everything.
Cool. I really appreciate it. And yeah, not to give any expectations, but I also see the sacrifice set of people, not just like 9Inch holders, because who knows what we do in the future, improvements and stuff, or new stuff that gets released. I mean, it's kind of like being on a VIP list. That's all I can say. Like, our mission is to enrich the 9Inch sacrifice set. That's it. It's kind of like, how you have shareholders in a company or something. Like, whatever the company does, like it's for the shareholders. It's not for anything else, really. Like that's the number one priority, and everything else is kind of like working around that. So yeah, I really I'm happy you are in the sacrifice sets.
I'm feeling doggish.
I see you changed to extremely wrecked on Hex on your username. For those who don't know, this guy, he changes his username, and every time I see it, it gets worse and worse. So
I don't know what's gonna top extremely. What is the stronger word than extremely? I'm running out of fucking adverbs here.
Absolutely.
True.
Well, maybe ultimately.
Completely wrecked. Completely.
So okay, I'm gonna still be here. I'm gonna be a little bit quiet for the next maybe 15 minutes. But I'm curious if we move away a bit from 9Inch. Well, what do you feel about not specifically the lawsuit or anything that's kind of overplayed, but like generally, where do you see Pulsechain going? Is it are you disappointed, hopeful, or are you just extremely wrecked, everybody?
I am very optimistic on Pulsechain. There are things you can do on Pulsechain that no other blockchain can actually do, and it's been proving itself ever since the launch.
Yeah, you can even peg DAI.
Look at how you got bridge stables on Ethereum running on Pulsechain, and they run well. You could do farms and everything with them. There's no other chains that do that. That one right there was like number one. I mean, if you really think about it, you have the whole system state forked, and it's forked for a reason, I think, because now you could actually implement it to how you wanted to run on your own chain. So if you didn't like the way it was on Ethereum, now you could tweak it on Pulsechain. It's all open source. I mean, what other chain gives you that opportunity without the centralization factor, especially growing every day on Ethereum? So really, this is if you really look at the big picture of it, this is a breath of fresh air for financial sovereignty. Let's put it like that.
Vagino, one videos.
One video. That's a nice question. So videos are ready. They have been delivered to the team, and probably soon as it launches.
Yeah, we heard like most people in the team wanted them launched when we actually launch, because we haven't had so many questions so far about like how to use it and stuff, because I know that testnets are boring, and most like noobs don't really go on the testnet because it's kind of like not a geeky thing, but a little bit. So I think that when we launch, that's when most newbies are gonna come, and so the videos are really gonna have their place then. So yeah, but they're coming soon. As Vag said, we have all of them. So around launch, we should launch the videos. They're really good, really good. There's no other dex that goes through these lengths of like documenting everything perfectly. There's even a chat bot that we have that I didn't even touch on that actually, but in a few days we're gonna launch our own ChatGPT kind of thing that's going to be attached to the DEX. So wherever you are in the DEX, you can speak to the bot, and the bot will talk to you like a human with the information that it gets from all our documentation. So you don't have to go to a README file or anything like that. You can speak to him like you speak to someone in Telegram. So that's really cool. I don't see anybody else doing that. We have people like CryptoVag here who makes super high production quality, funny, thoughtful videos, very easy to digest with graphics and everything, how to use 9Inch. If you're a visual learner, you should go through that. So we have something for everybody. It's fucking amazing.
Only on Pulsechain. There you go.
As long as I know how to do it on the first day when 9Inch launches.
I think you'll be all right.
You know what's really funny, K9? 1 hour ago, Binance just launched the Binance Sensei. That's going to be also like our chat GPT bot.
Oh, so fuck off! Really?
Great minds think alike, man. This is a good sign.
Perfect timing. Competition's good, man.
Imagine if you do the same steps with Binance, man. That's a really good sign.
Yeah, I guess our chatbot will have a better brand, so I'm not mad about it. Bring it.
Sure, you'll have us.
More
no one gets shit up more than us.
Did I hear that you're gonna have a chat GPT thing going on in the chat?
Yeah, we made like a white label version of it, branded it. We call it Chat STD, and so basically you're talking to the cute aubergine, and it will be sort of like your companion wherever you go, on the site, on the DEX. Yeah, it'll be in the corner there. So you can just click him and ask away. It will even help you with general crypto stuff. So we are feeding him so much data. So you can ask him, what's the contract code for Hex? Like, boom, it will give it to you. Here's the P Hex, here's the E Hex, whatever. It's the same, but you know what I mean. You can ask him, like, what's the difference between PancakeSwap and 9Inch code? And he will say, like, you can ask him anything because he has all the raw data, and we've sort of taught him to speak in a specific way. So it really feels like it has a personality, which I'm sure it does when it becomes sentient and tries to kill us all.
That's gonna be awesome. We're gonna do that in the chat as well. Like have like a interface where we say at STD, and then he replies to us.
So does this mean that the condom is out of window? It's no more on the eggplant?
The current one is without, so it will be the raw version.
Oh, so that's why STD. Okay.
Exactly. It has 0 audits, just goes in raw.
What's good? Level up on crypto here. Real quick question. Yeah. With you carry your LP up and you stake, or single sided you stake for, let's say, 10 weeks. Will this be auto restaking if you don't get back, or do you need to physically unstake and stake again? You know, if you forget, if you come back.
You have to do it. You have to do it yourself. And there is no auto compounding for anything except for the BBC one, because you stake the BBC and then you earn the BBC. So the auto compounding is only available for BBC.
Will there be penalties if you forget to come back and get your LP?
Yes, there is a penalty, but it's not steep. It's quite similar. I can't remember exactly how we wrote it in, but it's going to be similar in style of what Hex is doing. So it's going to be a really you can have a lot of grace period.
Like a grace period. Okay.
Yeah. You have a grace period that's really generous, and after that, it's going to be very, very incremental, like a drawdown.
And do we know that the single-sided staking fees will be under 4%? Because looking around, most people go with the 4%. It'll be at least under there, you think?
Yeah, that's a good question. I can start with saying, why does people have 4% or whatever percent? Why is there a fee? And the reason is this.
Because they want to make,
Yeah, because it's not really about. Well, obviously, the DEX makes money that way, but it's basically to offset the fact that, when you single stake something, you're not providing any value to the DEX. So if you have Hex, let's say we have a Hex pool where you stake Hex and you earn BBC. If somebody comes and earns, comes to our DEX and puts a lot of Hex, into a single staking pool, and he earns a lot of BBC, which he may sell or whatever he does with it. He's just siphoning value from the DEX and not giving anything in return. I mean, maybe you could argue that he's like maybe bringing other people, like, hey, look, I'm earning this much money here, so other people come to the DEX and then they use the rest of the products. Maybe, that's good, but the fee is basically to offset so that, okay, if I'm paying 4% to use this, do I really want to be involved here? So it's more like a emotional step that you have to buy in kind of thing.
Okay.
That's why you have the fees. So where does the fees go? Where does the fees go? So far, it just goes to a mystery wallet, and what that wallet does, it's not going to go to any devs. It's not going to be a kind of like a Richard Hart mystery wallet that everybody knows that he's getting it. The team is not going to get these fees. It's not going to be a source of revenue for 9inch. We haven't just decided yet how we're going to use the fees that we generate to improve the DEX or to maybe benefit some groups of people who do something. I don't know. So that's kind of like a fun conversation to have where those fees are going to be put.
What is nice with that single-sided staking, because if when you do single-sided stake a limited supply capped coin like PLD or where the ETH go, you do take a lot of that off of the market. So then when we do the eco staking, it's just going to be ridiculous. You're not going to be able to buy PLD because it's not that much available, especially if the people lock it up for 52 weeks or
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I think the single-sided staking is going to be a really, really popular part of the DEX because kind of the community has been so blue-balled by PulseX because it doesn't have any. And maybe now with the SEC stuff, maybe that got pushed even more into the future, right? Because maybe he doesn't want to have direct involvement so much when this shit is going on. I don't know. In any case, I think the community is really screaming for this. And I think there's been some like kind of, I don't even want to call them DEXs, but like these attempts to kind of like come into the Hex community and make these pancake swap clones. And like they have some single-sided staking, but it's not working out so well for them because they don't have network effect and they're not trusted, not audited, all of that shit. But so for us, I think it's going to be a really active part of our DEX. So I would also imagine that the fees that get collected there are going to be substantial. And as you say, the fees that get collected is not like in 9inch tokens or like just BBC tokens. It's going to be whatever that pool collects. So there's going to be like it's going to be interesting to see what we can use that for. It can be used to
pump PLD.
Yeah, go on.
Yeah. Also, is the team aware of going after these communities like this recent conspiracy theory, T-Dye, how they're saying this a wallet that uses Tornado Cash. If people if this is added to 9inch, this can create a lot of volume from the T-Dyes, the Zens, the trophies, the Pepe community.
Any specific coins, I can't really say. It's not that I don't want to say. It's just that honestly I don't know. That's why we have an open door policy. We will listen to everybody. We're not going to be like talking to a wall. We will not ignore you on Twitter or on Telegram. Like if you have a community, if you have a coin, if you're a decent founder, we will speak to you because we want to have as much good activity on our DEX as possible. And even on our website, we have, if you don't want to speak to us like directly or if you want to make like a formal presentation, there is, if you go on 9inch.io, you will see on the menu there's something called Casting Couch. If you go to the Casting Couch, which you can also reach on 9inch.io/casting couch, one word, then you can, then there's like a little info sheet that you fill in, like who are you, what's the project, what's the coin, what's the logo, contract address if you have, and just you can send that in, and we get like a little notification that there's a new project that's interested in doing whatever with us. It's not like a request to do anything specific. It's just like it's your way into to get our attention to look at your project, and if we really find something that we like, then we can start conversing, and maybe we can do something really cool. Like it can be maybe you can get like a staking pool or farming pool. That can be one thing, or we can do like whatever. It's a completely open world, right? So if you're creative, we are creative. I'm sure we can do something cool together if you have a nice project.
Yep. Thanks. Appreciate the transparency. Day one, man.
Cool, man. Appreciate it.
Should I start persuading KD Triple D to create her own token and then pair it with the 9inch? See what would happen?
Well, it's a free world. Somebody's got to start it. Might as well be you. Or you want to pair it with Vag's meme coin. I'm hyped about that one.
When Vag.
When Vaginum.
So Kenan, I have a question. This Stargate, I was searching about it because I never heard of it. This Stargate, I see it bridges, let's say, the liquidity between different chains, right? But I never seen the using the word pulse chain anywhere. Is 9inch going to be the first project is going to integrate a pulse chain in this let's say bridging of liquidity?
No, it's not. It's not going to bring to Pulsechain. I don't think it's just an easy way. If you have funds on, let's say, Binance, and you want to put it on the 9inch on ETH, for instance, you can do it through you can do it on our DEX. Now you don't have to go to an external place to do it. So yeah, it's basically just to get money in quickly from if you have coins on other chains. I don't want to go too deep into the Stargate because I'm not the numpad guy of the group, but it's fairly straightforward. I don't think it has Pulsechain on there yet.
Okay, thank you.
But for that, if you you can use changenow.io. They are openly not promoting but supporting Hex. So and everything around Hex. So if you want to move funds from, let's say, if you have DAI on Ethereum, you can send you can buy Pulsechain with that, and you don't have to use like a bridge or anything. So it swaps it for you for a small fee, and then you also get kind of anonymous coins, right? So because it goes to like a common pool or whatever. I don't really know how it works, but it's kind of like, I don't know if it's like build privacy, but it's something.
I get it. Thank you.
And Stargate doesn't work like that. So in Stargate, you get the same wallet gets the swap. So there's no like there's no tumbling going on. Not really tumbling, but you know what I mean. So Change Now is good in that way, so that it gives you some privacy when you do it.
Yeah, I get it. This anyway, the bridges always have a small risk, let's say, but I get what you say.
Hey, I've got a bit of a question, just for some game theory. So most other rewards tokens, like incentive token and stuff, they're just like dump forever kind of thing. What's being done with BBC to kind of mitigate that, I guess? And like I'm like thinking that maybe those fees from the single-sided staking could be good for like a buy and burn to keep it propped up kind of thing.
Yeah, so I can start by saying that PancakeSwap is incredibly inflationary, and I think it did 250x or something like that. Most of the gains you will see on any coin, whatever the coin is, it just has to do with market conditions. It's not any hocus pocus with tokenomics and stuff. It really is not. So Hex would not do what Hex did if the market didn't look the way it did back then. So it's not really that Hex has a genius blocking system that made it go do that bubble thing. It's all about virality that makes it. It's much more about the demand than supply, which is why all these crazy inflating coins, they do huge gains, even though the kind of tokenomics sucks with the supply side of it. Because in crypto, the demand is so much more important. So with coins like BBC, we do have, like, I think the best supply side tokenomics of any inflationary coin I've ever seen. Which is basically we have whatever happens on our DEX. You can't do any trade of anything without it benefiting the BBC token by buying it and then burning it. Not even PulseX has this. So that's one thing. And we will always make sure that not just 9inch, but also the BBC token are the most prioritized in terms of getting rewards and incentivized on the DEX. So that's the second thing. And obviously, and then you can always build around the coin, right? So there's so many ideas flowing around, like people who want to make like, I'm not going to go into details, but there's a lot of people showing interest in doing stuff that you can only get by owning a certain amount of BBC. I've seen ideas about lottery systems, so that I mean, let's say there's we talked before about there being these fees being collected in the single-sided staking area of the site. So somebody had an idea that, okay, what about these funds get like sent to users on random, depending on how many BBC tokens they hold. Kind of like lottery tickets. So like one BBC is a lottery ticket. That's really cool. I'm not saying that's going to happen, but these kind of ideas are floating around. And most of them have to do with BBC, because it's kind of like in everybody's interest to really build around the BBC. Because I think the 9inch token really takes care of itself by being completely capped. And the fact that you also have to use it to in the DAO. So that's another thing that we have that the PulseX token does not have buy pressure for the DAO. So yeah, but again, I want to say what I said in the beginning. What's gonna make any coin pump? It's not stuff like this. It's the market virality. So if we get a bull market and we get people into Pulsechain, everything is gonna go well in Pulsechain. And if that doesn't happen, then nothing is gonna work. So we're kind of like we're really in the same boat, all of us. It doesn't matter which Pulsechain project you're in. I think if everything tanks, there's people gonna blame stuff that doesn't even matter, like bad devs, bad marketing, bad logo, bad tokenomics. But in the end, it's just it's kind of like the whims of the market, right? But at least we can say that I think we have the best tokenomics of any DEX in the world. Like, I honestly believe that. So if anybody has a chance to do really, really well in this cycle, I think it's the holders of BBC and 9Inch.
Maximan, are you done with your question? Okay. I just want to ask a particular question here. I don't know. I'm sorry if anybody is offended. But looking at what you just say, I'm talking about K9 in terms of people patronizing a particular project, make the project success, which is true. And I'm looking at, is it possible? I'm not suggesting that maybe the launch should be maybe close to Bitcoin halving, but do we think if the launch is like 2 or 1 month to Bitcoin halving, it will have a great impact on the progress and profitability of project itself and the investors? So what do you think about all this?
You're kind of asking the wrong guy, because I'm one of the few people who don't really believe in well, obviously, if you look back in time, you can see what's happened. Sorry, I got disconnected. So yeah, if you look back in time with the Bitcoin halvings and stuff, it's very easy to see, okay, there's kind of like a pattern here, right? But I really don't buy into the thing that, okay, when the Bitcoin halving happens, this is going to happen exactly like it did back then, because, crypto has this rhythm that when people get a hold of it and they can make a model out of it, that's exactly the time when it stops working.
Please come back, K9.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Where did you lose me? So,
Bitcoin.
Okay, so what?
People get the rhythm, get the pattern, then it's changing.
Yeah. So just to get the whole soundbite here, the universe has this kind of funny thing that when you work on something, try to model something, when you finally have the perfect model and everything seems to work, some other guy goes and finds out something that completely contradicts your stuff. And the crypto is the same. Like, when people find these perfect patterns and they think they can model it, that's the exact moment when the model stops working. It's always like that. It's like that with TA. It's like that with cycles, business cycles, super cycles, whatever. When people finally figure it out, that's the end of that model. It doesn't work anymore. So I think the same is true with Bitcoin halving stuff. Yes, the halving is going to be great and all of that, but everybody is saying the same thing and try to say that, okay, we understand exactly how this cycle is going to go now. And that kind of makes me feel like, it's probably going to surprise everybody and do something that nobody expected it to. So I'm not trying to time the market with 9Inch launch. I'm happy that we are like in a really, really bearish scenario right now, because this is the perfect time to do the auditing and all this boring shit. Because imagine if we were in a raging bull market and now you're sitting on the sidelines doing auditing and doing this. That would suck. That would be terrible. That's when you want to be in the market. So the fact that we're doing all this boring shit now when there's nothing going on in crypto, that's amazing. You should be happy that this is happening now. And whenever we're done, we will launch, and then hopefully we get the wind on our side with a new bull market, and we're all happy. Or we don't, and we're unhappy. But at least we will have done our very, very best. And I think we are in the best position of any coin, any community in the crypto world. We have the best tokenomics, we have the best community. I mean, 9Inch is the best sub-community within the best community in crypto. The most vibrant, active, loud community, the Pulsechain community. And that's the best we can do. We're not trying to time anything with cycles or Bitcoin halvings and stuff. Yeah, sorry for my ramble, but that's kind of how I feel about it.
Feeling doggish.
Yeah, great. Sure. Great response. I was just thinking, though you have a very genuine response to my question. I'm sorry to ask this next question, though it's not directly on 9Inch, but somehow it's going to be related to it since it's going to be it has relationship with Richard Hart's project. So I'm not trying to criticize Richard, but I know he has done so well, especially the X. But X is certificate of deposit, or what is it even called? But I'm looking at PLS. It's quite different from X, being that it is a blockchain which it's more or less of universal usage. So, and one attitude, sorry, I don't really like about Richard is that it's same in terms of what I say marketing. I know he does a lot of marketing, but in terms of listing in different exchanges, it tends to restrict himself. I don't know whether it feels like he can actually do it alone or what, because I don't see a reason why there's nothing here listing PLS on Binance or whichever one, because I don't see any competition in this. I'm just saying, because I'm looking at this will be one of the factors if it doesn't do such kind of things. We may have the investors, but it won't be that good for a blockchain to be more or less seen as being restricted. That is one question. I don't know what your response will be to that. Then again, the second thing is I don't really know much about this issue of this SEC or issue of case that is going on about Pulsechain, though some are saying it's just minor thing. Please, can you just tell us if it will have any negative effect, as a layman investor who doesn't really know where direction is going to.
As I said to somebody else who asked the same question, is whatever is going on with Richard, people's maybe disappointed with him, or if there's going to be any troubles from the SEC and stuff. Again, I've seen no impact whatsoever except for the price went down. That's it. And so if everything is working exactly the same, but just the price went down, nothing happened. There was just some people who pressed the sell button. That's it. The SEC didn't press sell. Somebody read what the SEC said in a tweet or in a blog post, and then they decided to go on PulseX and press sell. That's the only effect that the SEC has had on this project so far. So I would say the cause and effect of it is zero. There is no cause. There is a cause, but there's no effect. If anything, the indirect consequence of the SEC being after Richard, or maybe Richard being kind of inactive or passive with the whole thing, is that our playing area has expanded. So whereas he is very off hands with PulseX, we can be very on hands with 9Inch. So you're asking a co-founder of the Dex questions now live in front of all these people, right? So you couldn't do that with Richard, right? So you can only guess what he's gonna do, if anything. Whereas at least with me, I can give you my honest answer. If I don't know, I will tell you I don't know. But if I do know, you can get an answer. Or you can tell me a few suggestions, like, why don't you do this and this and that? And I'm here listening to you. Maybe it's a bad idea that you give me, but at least I will hear it out, right? So if anything, the indirect consequence of the SEC stuff is that I think people will be more drawn towards our project, because we are the very opposite of PulseX in this regard, in that PulseX is very stable, very inactive. It just is what it is, kind of like Uniswap, whereas we are we're a bit more freewheeling, We really want to go forward. We want to always add stuff. We want to add everything that's going on, anything that's new. We want to go where the hype is, where the volume is. We want to kind of be on the edge of crypto all the time. Because if you're not, you just die, So kind of forgot your first question. I think your first question had to do with what I think about Richard not marketing and stuff. Again, I don't know what's going on with him. I'm just happy that I like to see the positive, as I said. It just leaves so much more on the table for 9Inch holders. So that's good for us.
And if I could add, for example, at the past EOS, that blockchain and that token was sued by SEC that it was, I think that it was a security or something. And what happened eventually, they just paid the fine. They gave a fine, they paid the fine, they fixed what they had to fix, I don't know. And then the blockchain continue working and the token continue, the price with the bull run and everything. And also we have on our side the XRP partially winning the lawsuit. What I want to say is that think could be optimistic. I want to bring the optimistic side of you that okay, SEC is just an organism that wants to investigate something and maybe take profit from that. But as soon as this stops, then the things continues, and before it stops, the Pulsechain blockchain and every blockchain is still working. You know, not every, but it depends of how it is being architected. But a decentralized blockchain is running. Doesn't matter of a lawsuit to a specific person or whatever.
I understand your response. Thank you for the response.
You're welcome.
Okay, guys.